Well, greetings, all of the CEOs out there for CEO School. This is Nancy Chorpenning, founder of CEO School. We are a virtual learning and community for support and mentoring. And I'm really excited today to welcome Laurel Portié. Several of you have asked recently how it is that I've been doing all of this video work, ads and Facebook Lives and all sorts of other things. Well, I'm here to introduce why. Laurel is just a remarkable pro when it comes to Facebook advertising. She has taught me so much, more than I ever expected. But she's also just a wonderful friend and colleague as well. So I wanted you to get a chance to meet her and hear her story because she has a wonderful pivoting story that I think is especially important right now, as so many of us are looking at our businesses and what impact this global change is going to have in each of our businesses. And it's going to be different for each one of us. But I think the more stories we hear about this, the better. So welcome, Laurel. It's nice to have you here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
It has been such fun getting to know Laurel. I feel like I've known her forever. And Laurel, tell us a little bit about your background because I think that is very unique to this space and it really helps explain a lot of why you're so good at what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually started in television back in 2002. So I had been at television. Oh my gosh, I'm aging myself, but we'll just leave it at I started in 2002. And so I worked for various television companies. I worked for ABC, I worked for CBS, I worked for EW Scripts, the company that does Food Network and Travel Channel, all of that fun stuff. I've worked in syndicated television. I've worked on shows like Pickler and Ben. I've worked in for The List. I've done some stuff for Right This Minute. So syndicated television, news broadcast, that was my bread and butter for, 19 years. And, I met my wife who has more of an entrepreneurial brain, and she did HR for Delta Airlines. And I was working in syndicated television when we first met. And one random day she was like, hey, I've always wanted to do a t-shirt shop. And I'm like, okay, that's really random. But okay, cool. I was like, I do television. I do Facebook ads for all these television shows, and I do the social media marketing. I've been social media director, brand manager for CBS, for Cox. I've done this stuff. So how about I just take what I've learned and I'll start running ads for our t-shirt company or whatever. And just started researching businesses online. We ended up at a Daymond John workshop. Those ones where they say free Daymond John workshop, and we're like, okay, why not? We just started this business, so let's see what it's all about. Of course, we got into the upsell, and then we ended up buying it, and then we went to the 3-day, because I'm always like, if we're going to do something, we need to take it seriously and invest in all of that fun stuff. And so we ended up at this Daymond John workshop, and the guy, we're sitting here talking about t-shirts, and he's like, wait, who's doing your Facebook ads? And I was like, well, I'm doing them. And he's like, why are we sitting here talking about t-shirts? We should be talking about your own agency. And I'm like, what? He's like, you do better Facebook advertising than so many people who are doing that. Why don't you have your own company? I'm like, I don't know. I work in television. I've never even thought about that. And so that just kind of got those juices kind of just flowing. And then my wife, since she worked for Delta, we were on the West Coast, and she had to be sitting at a desk at 5 a.m. because, Delta's based in Atlanta. And so I had a couple of hours before I had to go into the studio. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go on Facebook Live, and I'm just going to start teaching Facebook ads just for fun. And my entrepreneurial friends started asking me, hey, can you do this strategy for me? Can you teach it? Turned into me doing ads for people. Then it turned into a coaching program. And like 9 months later, I was writing my notice to my job, and I was very reluctant. I'm not gonna lie. I had to have all my ducks in a row because I'm one of those people. But I knew early on that I needed to hire a business mentor if I was really going to turn this into something. And we did the math because she's like, why have you still not left your job yet? And she's like, get out a pen and paper. We're going to do some math. And when we did the math, it was $469 an hour versus 75 an hour, which I literally wrote my thing that day. And when I gave them a month's notice, and that was the very first pivot I ever had, leaving my television career. I did, I have Emmy Awards. I basically all of the formulas that I teach you guys how to do videos all came from me writing formulas for getting people to watch the news or getting people to watch a new television show. So that's my background all summed up in about, 11 minutes
Right.
or however.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think that, the other things that your story shows is that, first of all, you did it the right way. You did the research and tested it before you pushed the eject button.
Oh,
That's
I had to. There was
always,
no way.
yeah.
And that was one of the things I was seeing as I was coming into the online space. I mean, I got bamboozled, like probably a lot of you guys who are watching this right now, by the people who quickly realized I was really good at social media marketing. They wanted me to be on their Inspire teams, and back when all of those affiliate, what was it? All of those, like the super affiliate network and all of these make money online, how to make money online, by teaching people how to make money online. And so I got sucked into that for very, very quickly, but luckily I was able to kind of identify the BS from there, and actually having my own product and stuff to sell, and being able to invest and take the load off, because it's like, so I saw so many people falling victim to, they had their first $10,000 month and then they'd go quit their job. And then the next month later, they had to not only make up for the income of the bills and everything else, they had to make up for, that new car that they went out and bought and all of this stuff, because now all of a sudden they got to their 10K a month goal. And so I saw a lot of people unfortunately fall victim to that. Like some of my clients did, some of my students. And so that was just kind of like one of those things that I'm like, nope, I have to have all of my ducks in a row before leaving. So it is very important that you have like an exit strategy, or you're going to fall into that trap.
Absolutely. It is so critical. And I've seen so many people fall victim to that, and just because they get so excited, and it's great to be excited, but then you've got to have a plan, and you've got to test your presumptions and that sort of thing. But the other thing that's really fascinating is how the timing of your pivot took place in such a way that you are a fully virtual online business now, as we are contending with the other side coming of the pandemic. How did you how did you know?
So I didn't actually know, but I'm one of those people that I'm just a planner. And like like everything that we've done over the last 2 years has been planned. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. And me and my wife actually just talked about this. We felt like the universe was setting us up to be in this position that we are, because here's what me and my wife did. And so when my wife and I were working full-time jobs and we had our side hustle, we were living in downtown Phoenix. Her and I both made good money. So we were very comfortable people, right? And instead of upgrading where we were living in downtown, I mean, we had a view, like we were living in style. We literally packed up everything and moved down here to South Louisiana. I'm actually sitting in my grandmother's old living room. I inherited this home. And so we literally, like, I hate to say downgraded, because I kind of feel like we've upgraded, but we literally moved back to where I'm from. My dad was in the nursing home, and you don't get that time back. And so
Absolutely.
I don't have that much time left with him. So I was like, I'm going to regret this if I don't. So we moved from downtown Phoenix into setting up shop here in South Louisiana. The Gulf of Mexico is about that 5 miles that way. And we literally just invested the money we were spending in our apartment into this house that we own. I have a commercial building out there too that we own through the courtyard back there that's on Main Street. So it was kind of a downgrade, because people are like, why'd you move from, downtown Phoenix to Podunk, Louisiana? But as we downgraded, it allowed me to invest more into mentorship. And that was huge. Like that mentorship was the pivoting. We're talking about the second pivot that I made late last year, because one of the things that I was fearful of is, what if Facebook goes away tomorrow? Will I still have a business? And I was like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable. I'm going to invest all this money that we're saving from, downgrading our lifestyle, which we love because we're not,
or the expense.
We do whatever we do whatever we want when we want. If we want to go spend a month in LA, we can go do that. Like we live the life that we want to live. We're optimizing for us to do what we want. We're not optimizing to drive Lamborghinis. We're not optimizing for, all of that fun stuff. I mean, even if you're making like, 15, 20, that's more than anyone will ever, see in their paycheck. And so that's the first thing you have to like figure out is like, what do you want to optimize for? And then I wanted to optimize my business next to make more money so that I can invest more money in a better mentor. And so when I got my mentor, he helped me literally rig the game. He's like, Laurel, you're not a Facebook advertising expert. He's like, what you do is something you've been doing for, 20 something years in television. You're literally using Facebook advertising to put good content in front of the right people. And that kind of like just started this whole pivot of, I'm not a Facebook ads expert. I'm a video marketing expert that's just using Facebook advertising as a vehicle. And so there's just been that slight pivot. And video marketing right now is something that a lot of people who are probably watching this video should be doing right now, versus all of those direct response conversion type marketing that, that was working about 6 months ago. But now that with more people consuming as much content and not spending as much money as they were before, it's like a perfect space. And I didn't pivot because I knew this stuff was coming. It was just something I knew like in my gut that I needed to do. And because of that pivot and just recognizing what does my audience actually need, I was able to develop, like right now I'm in the middle of a 90-day case study that I'm actually out to prove that video marketing can be as effective, if not more effective than the direct response type marketing, like the conversion marketing, the most expensive type of marketing when it comes to Facebook advertising. So I'm putting up the cheapest form of advertising against the most expensive form of advertising. And we're going to see how that plays out.
I can't wait to see how that one turns out. But one of the things I wanted to just give you kudos on too, because it's really what prompted me to want you to be my marketing mentor. And that is that you focus on strategy. And so few programs really do that. They're very much into the tactical stuff. This is how you do this and this. But if you don't start with your destination in mind, then it doesn't matter. You're going to keep going around in circles. And I think that your focus on strategy is helpful in so many. It's not as narrow as just video advertising. That's your methodology, but the strategy of really think through who your audience is, and that really brings to mind the masterclass that we're going to be doing in CEO school starting next Monday, June 1st. That's called Prepare to Pivot, because it starts with what you started with, which was the vision of where you wanted to be. You weren't quite sure how you were going to get there, but you knew where you wanted to get to. And I am always telling my clients, if you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there?
And you don't know how to optimize for it. Because I've seen so many people that they're trying to keep up with the Joneses or the next entrepreneur. And it's like, because so many people, they want to get to that 10K a month goal. If they didn't, like they get to that 10K a month goal, but then they go out and buy a new car. I'm like, but did that buying a new car wasn't in your original plan of getting that freedom that you want. And so this masterclass, that you're teaching is going to give people that direct, because without that direct, like, this is what I want, this is my why, and this is my want. There's no way that people can stay on track or even be able to measure whether or not they're going to achieve that goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And right now, because nobody's crystal ball is clear, we don't really know what new normal is going to look like. But we can, first of all, take advantage of our current and past clients and really take this time to get to know them. Because, and that's the other thing that I really appreciate about your programs is that you talk and teach a lot about how do you figure out who your audience is. And then once you do, this is where actually talking with them helps tremendously, um, just to get so that they understand or you understand how they value your product or service. Can you speak a little bit to that process? Because I've been there as part of your group, growing into the coaching group.
Absolutely. So I'll use an example. So a lot of people, they think that they have niche down, they're talking to a specific audience. But let's just say that you are a health coach. We'll even go specific, like you are a fitness coach. You help women drop their first 10 pounds, the next 10 pounds, right?
Mhm.
Let me ask everyone who's on this call this right now. The way, like, how would you talk to a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids versus who's trying to lose that 10 pound of baby weight versus a college girl who's trying to look good, keep up with the Jennifer Aniston type bodies in college, right? The messaging is going to be very, very different. Even for someone who you're going to talk to, a professional woman who has to be on camera every single day on Zoom calls and in front of presentations, they're going to want to lose that 10 pounds for a totally different way, right? Their stress is probably like stress weight, right? And so there's all of these different messages. And so the one mistake that so many business owners make is they are too scared to really like go down into those micro niches. But those micro niches, that's where the money is. Like my fitness expert that I work with, the reason I work with them is because he specifically works with entrepreneurs who sit at a desk all day, right? He's not
Yeah,
trying to go
got it.
after everyone who needs to lose, those 10 pounds. He's literally, and the reason I chose to work with him is because every single time he goes on live, he talks about problems and issues that I have as an entrepreneur. And so for
He
those of you
knows
guys,
you.
exactly, like every single video, it's like that's me, that's me. And so that's where many people fall short is they're trying to, women who want to lose weight, what specific type of woman? Because again, the way that you talk to a college girl is going to be a totally different message, and then trying to talk to a mom of 3 kids who stays at home all day, very different than the way that you're going to talk to a woman in a profession. And so that's why it's super, super important. I have one agency client, like she knows her avatar so freaking good. It just we could make Facebook advertising sing for her because she knows her ideal audience are women. They live on the West Coast. They live on the East Coast. They do not live in the middle, the Midwest. They do not live in the South. They go to
Yep,
yoga every single day. They wear Lululemon. They eat
yep.
they shop at Whole Foods. And many of us don't really think to get to know our avatar that well. But when
Mhm.
we start to know our avatars, our messaging, and that's where most people, I'm telling you, hands down, fall short. It's
Yep,
not that their product isn't good enough. It's like the people that they're marketing to, they're just not sure.
right. Yep. That is so true. I see that every single day. And trying to help people work that. It also is a journey. It's not something you can just sit down and just do.
Oh no.
You have to get to know people. You have to test it, try it, talk with them, listen to them. That's my big thing is teaching people how to listen and what to listen for and how to ask open-ended questions so that they can actually elicit the kind of information that you want to get to know the people because we all recognize it when someone is speaking to us. And it's like, yeah, yeah, how do they know? And it's crazy the different things that you can generalize. But we are such a customer centric world right now that it's super important. And what a lot of people may not realize is that even in creating a business model, that's marketing. I mean, that's all about marketing, or at least the initial piece, which is all about your customer and your value propositions, and really understanding how, from the customer's standpoint, not from your standpoint, as the, but really how to speak with them.
And being
And
consistent with your messaging. Because I see so many people, they'll try something for 2 weeks, they'll try this, and they're like, well, people aren't listening. I went live for 9 months before, like, I mean, but I was just like building that audience. And right now is the perfect time to perfect your goals, get your goals in mind, like perfect your avatar. Who are you talking to? And just start putting out that content that's going to attract them. Like right now, I cannot stress this enough. Right now is the most important time to be doing that. Not going and
absolutely,
looking for those new people, but how to make do with your existing audience that you have right now. Because I guarantee you, your next 10 clients are people that you already have in your circle. And as soon as you
yes,
perfect that messaging and you start being consistent with it, it's almost gonna effortlessly just start delivering clients to you. Like your content is just gonna, just without any effort, you're just gonna go give value and people are just gonna start coming. That's just how it happens, honestly.
absolutely. That is so true. And this is the time. I mean, even if your business isn't shuttered right now, everybody's a little bit quieter. And so we have an opportunity to think and to invest in ourselves too. And that's why I'm doing this master class. Generally when I do an online course, I'll charge like $500 to $1,000 for it. But I've had just so many business owners tell me that they're just frozen in the lights, um, because they don't know where their business is going to go. And nobody can know that, but you sure can be prepared to come out of the blocks fast because you've already been talking to your customers and you've asked them the right questions in the right order at the right time, and then you shut up and let them tell you. So that's really what we're going to be focusing on and preparing to pivot is, how to get yourself ready so that you're going to be out there ahead of the game when the new normal finally arrives. And I don't think anybody's questioning anymore that it is going to be different. And what matters is how's it going to be different for your customers? Because those are the people who we're trying to serve. And that's what's been fun about being in your program too, is getting to be with other folks who are going through this same process, and working on their business, not just in their business. And that's something that too few of us take the time very intentionally to do, but it comes back to you in dividends, like nobody's business. So, anyway, well, that sounds awesome. Now, Laurel, how can, my pals here, find you, if they are interested also in, learning more about video marketing and Facebook ads?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a $7 program. So they can go to
$7, you say?
$7, $7.
What?
Yep.
$7 a month?
$7 a month, and this is not just a do it yourself. I like, as a matter of fact, coming up on Monday, we've got a live coaching call with the $7 group. I do 2 live coaching calls a month. They get access to my ad strategies, pretty much everything, and that I do like with my clients, I throw in there, and I take you guys through that first foundations, because every good Facebook advertising strategy starts with a really good organic foundation. I don't care what any guru says, that's the way it is, and I've seen the
Yeah.
numbers come in. $7 a month will get you literally all of the phases of my program, live coaching calls. We have we do ad audits. We have a lot of fun. It's adcoachingfor7.com, and you can sign up, and it would be a lot of fun. Nancy,
That is,
I think you probably have a link to it. I'll let
yeah, I
Nancy
will
drop a link to
totally
the
put
program.
I will totally put your link in here too. And I will tell you also, just from my perspective, that Laurel over delivers in a way that I have never seen anybody else over deliver. And so if you are serious, or if you're just curious, for $7 a month, that's crazy.
The
Um,
organic strategy alone, there is a, like, if you're, even if you're not ready for Facebook advertising, I have a badass, excuse my language, organic 7-day organic marketing sprint in there. That alone got me my first 6 figures using just Facebook lives. So
yeah.
that's as a bonus inside that $7 program. So even if you're not ready to do Facebook
Mhm.
advertising, if you want a badass video strategy that's gonna rock your organic world and help you get to that first 6 figures, it'll be the best $7 you'll spend.
Absolutely. Well, and you're speaking right to my audience because we are nothing if not badasses. So, well, thank you so much. It's always great fun speaking with you, and I'm so glad that I got to introduce you to CEO school. So, I will see you again really soon. But thank you
Absolutely.
guys so much. Talk soon. Bye now.